How much should I expect to pay in closing costs on a HECM reverse mortgage? And how do you know if you're getting a fair deal? That's a great question. It's one that we recently received. And I'm going to try and explain it as succinctly as possible. But my disclaimer is that based on where you are in the country, based on your loan amount, and based on the percentage that you draw out of your HECM line of credit, these factors are going to change. So I would encourage you at the conclusion of this video to email us or call us so we can run more specific numbers based on your situation. But in general, what will happen when you apply for or we start talking through the reverse mortgage is we're going to calculate an initial principal limit. And just for simple terms, let's say that the initial principal limit of your loan is calculated at $100,000. And that's going to be based on the value of the home and your age and some factors like that that set that initial principal limit. So if we have a $100,000 initial principal limit and you draw at the time of closing your reverse mortgage less than 60%, so let's say that you borrowed $55,000 to pay off a small mortgage that was existing on the home, then your closing costs should be, in general, somewhere in the 2 to 3% range of the initial principal limit. So we're going to say somewhere around the $3,000 mark. Now, what you may not know is that if you draw greater than 60% of your initial principal limit, so in our scenario, $100,000 initial principal limit is what we calculate, your draw is $80,000, or let's just say that you draw the full $100,000 out at the time of closing of your reverse mortgage, then those fees go up quite a bit. You could anticipate closing costs somewhere in the 4 to 5% range. So if possible, we always try to counsel clients to keep their initial draw below 60% of their initial principal limit. There's a lot of jargon there. I'd encourage you to reach out to us with any additional questions, but I hope this has given you at least some general ranges, somewhere between 2 and 3% in closing costs if you're drawing less than 60% of your initial principal limit, somewhere between 4 and 5% in closing costs if you're borrowing greater than 60% of the initial principal limit. So I hope that's given you a general yardstick to measure with. The last piece of advice that I would give you is to find someone with a heart of a teacher, someone who's willing to educate you versus sell you, and don't settle for the first quote that you get. I think you should probably speak to a few professionals, get a couple of different proposals, and I think if you take those steps, you're very easily going to be able to find, or you'll be able to find the right person and ensure that you're not being taken advantage of. All right, we're honored that you took the time to watch this video, and if you have any additional questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to us directly.